advocate, film producer, and talk show host. I'm here to motivate, educate, and entertain. Join me on YouTube every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Stacey Thomas Talk Show, where we have powerful discussions centered around health, relationship, careers, and everyday conversation. Follow me on Facebook, I am Stacey Thomas. On Instagram, Stacey Thomas Talk Show. And don't forget, I can promote you too. Email me at iamstaceythomas@gmail.com. Now, it's time for the show. Hello. I'm your host, Stacey Thomas, and thank you for watching. And once again, my platform is being blessed, right? She's been on here before, and she never gets boring. It's never a dull moment when I speak to her. And now I'm just going to welcome Dr. Cassandra Conover back on the show because she's very knowledgeable and real, and she's going to give us some food for thought. How about that? Hello. How are you?
I am great, Stacey. How are you?
I'm fine. You know, it's been a couple years, but sister, you're like wine, getting better with time, huh?
I have a wonderful man. What can I say? I love it.
Love will do that. A woman can be great by herself, but what a powerful thing when the man is just as great.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I was his missing rib, so now we're all complete. So we're really strong. And Stacey, he talks more than I do.
He talks more than you?
Talks more than I do.
That sounds like what I got going on in this house with Lover. And I never thought I'd meet somebody that talked more than me. And I tell him sometimes when he said I talk a lot, I say, you a talking man. And you know what? Excuse me, that never happens till I do the show. My girlfriend said, my girlfriend said, you go from one extreme to the other, right? Divorce to lover after being separated for 21 years and finding each other, right? And I guess you got to be careful sometimes what you're asking God for. I want somebody that talks to me. I want somebody that goes places with me. And now talks all the time. He wants to go everywhere.
You got what you asked for. See?
So did you get what you asked for?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
He out talks me.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow. I love that. I love that. You know, you've been doing a lot since the last time you were on my show. We were talking about you retiring as Commonwealth Attorney of Petersburg City, Virginia. And then I look up, you relocated, and you couldn't just, I said maybe you were relocating because you were resting. You were just going to relax, enjoy your retirement. And then I look up.
I know, right?
And now you're the party chair.
I know, right?
Of Nash County Democratic Party.
Right? I know, right?
Where does this fight come from in you?
I think no question, everything comes from God. Let's say that, leave that, so we understand that God is the foundation for everything I do. Because if it was left up to me and my human strength, I'd be sitting down in my chair right now with a glass of wine. But we came here knowing absolutely nobody. Let me say that.
Nobody? Oh, you didn't go because of family?
Nope. Girl, we still use GPS. Don't get me wrong. We came here January 31st, 2020, knowing nobody. We just happened to like the house on Zillow.
Wait a minute. You weren't even searching for Nash County?
No. I didn't know anything about anything down here. Nothing. All I knew was with all our kids that they could drive if they came to see us maybe about 2 hours. So we looked within a 2-hour radius. But no, I'm telling you, nobody. So when we got here, January 31st, 2020, in February, I saw this advertisement for precinct organization. Now, me, okay, I had said I wasn't going to do anything. I had said that. But a little birdie inside of me said, well, I've been on the ballot 8 times as a candidate. What is it like to work with the party behind the scenes? And we don't have precincts in Virginia. So I'm like, oh, what's a precinct? Okay, let's go find out. What's this all? Whole different structure. Because in North Carolina, cities are within the county, where in Virginia, cities and counties are independent.
Right, right.
Okay. So I go to the precinct meeting and I meet the person, the chair of my precinct, who happens to live around the corner from me.
Okay.
And she's like, well, I need a secretary. This is where we have new officers. I'm like, I'm new like in 2 weeks. I mean, like, what do you want me to do? Well, you're a lawyer. You know how to write and take minutes, but we really don't have many things for you to write down. So, okay, well, I'll be a secretary. Well, then I started walking and talking with her, and she's like, I think that you could be this, that, and other. I'm like, come on, Lord, wait a minute. Be what? You're the second person. You're the first person I've met here. Then I met my neighbors down the street. Next thing I knew, long story short, within a year and a half, when they had elections, they wanted me to be chair.
And what were you thinking?
I was thinking, this is crazy. But then I'm thinking, well, I don't have to do much because they had just had a presidential election in 2020. And I was observing. They were like, oh, it's going to be real quiet. You don't have to do anything. I said, okay, well, I don't have to do anything. All right. Wrong.
We see how that's worked out, huh?
Yeah, and now I'm in my second term. You see how that works out.
Wow. I'm going to ask you a question. It almost is like, why would you ask her that, knowing what you know that she's done in her lifetime?
Okay.
I'm going to ask you anyway. You were a Commonwealth Attorney, dealing with all sorts of people. And then you become chair of the Democratic Party. Have you ever worried about violence, retaliation? When you show your face and you're walking around, if people don't see it, your blue hair, are you not afraid?
I am not afraid because I do not have a spirit of fear in me. Remember, I was 27 years roughly, the DA, the Commonwealth Attorney, the DA, responsible for a lot of things. So a lot of people mad about a lot of things we had to do because we had to do our job. And everybody didn't come out on the good end of that. I get it. But we had to do our job. And there were plenty of death threats. I had plenty of that while I was in Petersburg.
Wow.
Human side of me had to deal with that because I knew that I was there doing my job to the best of my ability. Did I get everything right? No. Did I say everything right? No. But I knew I was out there working for the people. I knew that there were victims who I had to be the voice for them. That I did hundreds of murder cases, hundreds, because I had a caseload. And I walked through it. I was the voice for that deceased person. That's heavy. That's heavy. I had that responsibility. And it wasn't there for ego. I wasn't there for ego or title. I just knew that God gave me a voice to be for the people. And on the other side, I had to be careful. I'm not going to be stupid. I got to be careful where I go and what I say and what I do. But now I'm even more aware that now, because of the climate that's out there, because of the brazenness of groups of people, just because. So we are aware. But at the same time, Stacey, I know that I'm educating people. I know that I'm helping people get out and learn about candidates. I'm showing them what an authentic person could be like. We're all politicians. If you ever debated a teenager, you are a politician. So we are all politicians. We can't get out of that. But what people are looking for now are authentic folk. People will tell you, I tell you when I'm right or wrong. And I see that. And God places me in areas where I have work to do.
Wow. And because you're like one of the most perfect people to interview, because what we're going to talk about, you have been a Commonwealth Attorney. You've been in the shoes that the president to be has been in. Before we go there, let me ask you something. What is democracy to you? What does it mean in 2024?
So now you asked a loaded question there, because what does it mean in 2024? What does it mean? So let's talk about what it means.
What does it mean?
Okay, because in 2024, it depends on who's using that word. So we need to understand that democracy means we have a form of government where people elect people to rule, to make laws. Those persons are to be held accountable by people, because everybody can't be held personally in making a law. But you can elect a representative who will go and speak and make laws on your behalf. That's a democracy. That's what it means by ruling of the people. People have a say so. That's why elections are so important, because we have a representative democracy where people are elected. So if your elections are messed up, then you may be putting people in place who are messed up and won't legislate like they should.
And right there, people, I'm not sure if people realize that it is very important to start with your local representatives.
There you go. There you go. Because, we have lost the art of storytelling. I was telling you this before. And storytelling, actually, way back when with the slaves, but we also had those teachers in school who would tell stories and have the kids sit around in a circle and listen to that story and develop listening skills. And as somewhere along the line, kids stopped listening. And as they got older, they also stopped telling the stories. And some of those stories could have been lessons that they learned in school, like government, like the 3 branches of government. If you learn it in school and if it's told to you and you get a chance to spit it back out during your classes, as you get older, when things start happening, you would tell your kids about the government.
That's right.
Okay? You would tell them, you would take them with you when you go, because you're going to tell them how important it is to vote. Well, somewhere along the line, that communication got broken. I love my churches, but it got broken in churches too, because it used to be you could go into a church and you would hear it. And we're working with our churches and our pastors. Bring that back. Talk about government. Talk about the branches. Bring that back, because that's storytelling time also. So if you have that person-to-person contact, then at your house, in your city, you're hearing about city council. You're hearing about the mayor, what he does, what she does, what they do. That's your local stuff. When it comes time for your elections, you're hearing about your clerks, your Commonwealth attorneys or your district attorneys, your judges. In Virginia, the judges are not elected. In North Carolina, they are. But that can all be part of your conversation. Okay, so when you're having that conversation in your home and your family, then you're making it real. You're making that local government real, so that when things start happening on the state forefront or on the national forefront, It's not new to you because you're understanding. Oh, okay, well, they make the laws. Well, why I keep blaming the president for something when the laws are made by people in the General Assembly?
Right.
Why am I blaming the mayor for something when the laws are made by the people on city council? That's why it's important. And that's a storytelling that we've lost. It makes you wonder, do people teach civics anymore in high school? See, now we got to talk civics in middle, we got to talk civics in elementary. We got to bring it home to the kids and let them grow up with it.
Right. It shouldn't take so many people like, okay. So we have Kamala Harris out here. She didn't come walking out of the gate. She didn't come skipping out of the gate. She came running. And when she came running, people didn't crawl toward her. People didn't skip toward her. They started running toward her. What is so different? Kamala's already in the White House. She's already part of a team. What is so different than a month ago and now?
Because Kamala comes talented. She comes with credentials, okay, which surprises a lot of people. We have a double standard that is not going to go anywhere, male, female. That double standard is not going to go anywhere. Well, here we have a female who is credentialed. Here we have people learning for once about, oh man, she's been a district attorney. You'd be surprised how many people don't know what district attorneys do, or prosecutors, or Commonwealth attorneys. And I met Kamala because I became Commonwealth attorney in '91. And we were at a district attorneys conference in 2006 or something like that, because she had just become the district attorney for San Francisco. So she came out to that. So I met her. We didn't even know we were in the same sorority. We weren't even talking about that. We were talking about the fact that she was the new DA of a large place, San Francisco. That was major. That was a major accomplishment, okay? But now you have, not only was she a district attorney, now she became attorney general. Well, do you know how many people didn't even pay attention or don't even know what attorney general does? Do you know how many people are getting educated about the position of attorney general because she was that? Not only that, then she moved up to being a senator in Washington. Wow. How many people knew that she was a senator? And she was elected. A lot of people didn't even know that district attorneys were elected. She was elected in each position. And then what's the fourth one? Vice president. Elected. So Kamala came with credentials.
So I like that. I like how you broke it down, because I'm big on telling people around me when they come to me with negative things, beware of the media. The media can give some good and the media can give some bad. Beware when they only give the bad. What I'm going to give you an example. Here it is, because you're a Commonwealth attorney. You have these people, the first thing they say is, do you know how many Black men she put away? Now, someone came out and said she only came to court twice. And I said to someone, wait a minute, was it her job to be in court every day? Wait a minute, what was the population like in that community? Is that why she saw mostly Black men? Or how about, did I make you do the crime? What do you say toward when we have so many African Americans that say, do you know how many Black people she put away?
So first of all, understand the difference between a prosecutor and a judge. The prosecutor only puts on whatever evidence comes to him or her from the police department. Okay. That evidence consists of witnesses, it consists of blood splatter. It can consist of documents. It can consist of anything. The prosecutor's responsibility is to put together the evidence, including the witnesses, before a judge. It is the judge who renders guilty or not guilty verdicts. Now, the prosecutor also, and she did this in California, also believes in not only preventive but also rehabilitation. You can have drug courts. You can have working things out to misdemeanors for somebody who's doing community service. Prosecutors there not to convict, but to seek justice. That's the prosecutor's thing, is to seek justice. And prosecutors do not determine what a defendant looks like. All of that happens before it even lands on the desk of the prosecutor. Anybody who becomes a defendant, whether it's because of an accusation or somebody sees it, there has to be evidence. If there isn't any evidence, then the judge will find there's no evidence and not guilty. There are many times when cases have been brought before us and the persons bringing the accusations were lying, and we could prove they were lying, because that's the main thing. Again, our thing is to seek justice, not to seek convictions, but to seek justice. And there are many times when we find that people will come and out of whatever, they may be lying, there's no evidence, and we'll tell the judge, this has to be non-pros. Because see, that's something else people don't realize. The majority of states, it's not on the lower court, it's not the prosecutor bringing the charge. The charges are brought already, either by a civilian or by a police officer. And then that report, that evidence is taken to the prosecutor.
Okay.
They're just doing the job.
It's all about research.
But when that comes out, and I get it, do people want to put people away? If somebody is terrorizing, hurting somebody, killing somebody, yes, doesn't matter what race they are. It doesn't matter what race.
Right. So, as an educated woman, obviously, for what you've done and what you're doing now, am I to assume it's not specifically because she's Black, but it's because of who she is as a person?
She is an authentic person with credentials, who's talented, who has proven herself. And yes, she's my sister in the sorority. Yes, we're proud of her, what she stands for. She is authentic. She is about business. She's proven. She's traveled over 20 countries. She's in the office now. She's doing work now. She's a heartbeat away now. She's proven herself. She deals with our allies and our enemies internationally. She has that inside knowledge, and she has her own way of doing things. She is not an automatic stamp for Biden. She is his vice president, and they are a great team. But there's a new team that's been
I like him.
Okay, I like him. There's a new team, and Tim Walsh is not standing for it.
I like him.
I like him. He's authentic. He's different.
Right.
Okay, a dad, a coach, and yes, he was in the National Guard, and they're trying to make a big thing about him getting out so he could run for Congress. He's already served so many years and had already indicated that he wanted to run for Congress. And when it became apparent that if he had gone overseas, that would have been an extended leave and he would not be able to run for Congress, where he wanted to serve the people, then he got out. And look at him. The man is awesome, and they make an awesome pair.
It's and it's my show. I can say who I rock with and who I don't rock with. Okay, respect everybody's ability to be able to choose. I like the excitement. I like what they're bringing with them. Tim, we need someone that hasn't spent all their life up in DC. We need someone that knows that farmers need help.
Yeah.
We need someone that knows that women need help, you know? Um, your place where you all meet, where the Democratic Party meets, have you had any problems with people opposing what you're doing?
Hey, I'm not going to say it's a problem. Okay, I'm not going to say it's a problem. I respect, and I have friends who are Republicans. Okay, I respect everybody's right to feel the way they feel, to think the way they feel. I really do. So I'm not going to come out and be in your face like some people have gotten.
Right.
And that's not the way to be. That's
Right.
not the way to be. There's no question when you look at me, and our mantra here in Nash County is hashtag unapologetically blue. So no question. And that's why I had to do my blue hair. There's no question. When you see me, you know which way I rock.
You
And my thing is not to persuade anybody.
right.
No. But if you ask me about something, I will tell you what I know. And then you make up your own mind. I will tell you what I know. Now, I have responsibilities as chair. I have I'll count. Let me tell you about our state chair. This is talking about excitement.
Okay.
Last year we had elected a new state chair. Anderson is the youngest state party chair in the United States. Our state party chair, she just turned 26, I think, 26, 27. The youngest. She hit the wave, she hit the national circuit big time. She brings with her, she's a ball of energy. And her team that came in are all young folk, ball of energy, mixture all the way around, love it. It's contagious. So we have that responsibility. And we're like, okay, so you know I'm a Democrat. Fine. If you want to take me on somewhere and talk about, this, that, and the other, all I'm going to say is if you're going to talk about Kamala, I'm going to say she was a DA, Attorney General, U.S. Senator, and Vice President. Boom. And has traveled 20 countries. And I'm going to walk away.
Don't have to keep going on
I
and on.
don't have to keep going.
Her record speaks for itself. Speaks for itself.
It speaks for itself. I don't have to keep going.
Right. Right.
You can accept it or not.
Right. Wow. I made myself a shirt. A lot of people aren't bold enough to wear my shirts. It says intelligence versus idiocracy. Wait a minute. It says intelligence versus idiocracy. I'll rock with the one wearing the pearls and chucks.
Okay.
I feel like, and it's sad because we are living in a democracy. I feel like, Stacey, if you wear that shirt, you're going to have to put the use your concealed license and carry. I shouldn't have to feel like that.
Nah, you shouldn't.
But
that's reality, though.
This is where we've come. Like, this is where we're at now with people being divided and everything almost. People, they're forgetting that. I'm just going to say they're following a cult instead of wanting to make this country a good country. It's crazy.
My thought. I don't think we are divided. I think you're just seeing the real feelings that people have had hid.
Yeah,
Okay. We always, I mean, nobody has 100% agreement.
right,
Nobody. We've
right,
never been at 100% agreement. You're not going to ever have that. So if you're not going to ever have 100% agreement, then how can you say you're divided? Most of the time when we talk about divided and division, we talk about being able to divide it to equal parts, or no, you just got, everybody has their own opinion, and they've always had their own opinion. The only difference now is that people feel free enough that they don't have to wear the hoods.
right. Because a friend I worked with, actually, he was a state trooper once, and we were talking. And I said, "You see what's coming out?" I said, "I didn't know they were still around." He said,
Yeah.
"Stacey, the hoods never went anywhere. They've been merely sleeping, waiting to be woken up. And they're up."
Well, I beg to differ. They would never sleep.
Maybe just a
I
little
can tell
quiet.
you,
Maybe just
I
quiet.
can, I can tell you, as a retired prosecutor, they were never asleep.
Really?
They were never asleep, ever, ever.
Wow. Wow.
They just feel now, and they're they've been emboldened to come out
Right.
and just, hey, be free. They have their freedom, and they do. They have their freedom to hate people because of their skin color. They have their freedom to hate women. And Lord help when you have the combination of someone who hates the color and hates women.
That's right.
So racism and sexism are alive today.
Wow. And as we talk about Kamala, I would like to ask you, so when she came running out, and so many people in 24 hours started running to her, Zoom calls.
Yep.
I was on a call. I'm not mad about it. It just made me think about something. So by the time I got on the call, I was told, Stacey, there was like 40,000 Black women.
And then we got up to 44. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Cassandra, because you always keep it real. Why is it that 40,000 Black women could gather within 24 hours for Kamala, but they won't gather to support their sisters and brothers that are everyday people?
You know me, my thing is in the choice of the words. And I don't like the word won't.
Okay.
Okay.
They don't a lot of times.
I think it depends on how they're brought together.
Okay.
And who brings them together.
Okay.
It's been a long time, and this isn't just with women. It's been a long time for our people since we've had a Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Okay. The leaders that we have are getting older. We respect them nonetheless. But we all have the right as we get older, they just won't let me do it, to slow down and to kind of back out of some things and just be kind of quiet and enjoy our life. We all would like to try to do that. But in the meantime, it's been few and far between of finding those leaders coming to the national stage. Like we have our national DNC president, he's wonderful. So we have him, Jeffries. We have a lot, but they're in the General Assembly. They're in Congress, so their time may not be as available, but they're loud and they're talking. So we have our leaders. We have female leaders, but they're in the struggle, because wherever they are locally, they're in the struggle having to deal with legislatures that aren't passing the right type of stuff, or they're in the fight. But we have very few on the national who had their door open that they could come out on the national platform until we had Kamala. And when everybody started galvanizing, I'm seeing names, I'm seeing organizations, all that are coming together, putting aside the different colors, putting aside what all coming together, which is wonderful. I think what you are seeing now are more ladies, leaders coming forward. I think the movement is there.
So you think
Win with Black women is out there. There's a win with Black women in almost every state.
Yes.
Then there's a national win with Black women. And I think the movement is there. The sisters are galvanizing together now. And all it took was that opening. Just that opening, that one leader that says, hey, here we go. Here's your opportunity to be heard.
So are you saying that because of this, that we could have a better effect in our community, that Black women will pull together more? Or does it have to be a strong leader?
I think everybody, this is just my personal thing.
Okay.
I just think we needed a spark.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm hoping, and don't get me wrong.
I'm with you.
It's exciting to see that.
But I'm with you. I'm with you. And I'm saying that as an elder, looking at the younger ones.
Right.
I mean, I'm 64. And yeah, I mean, hey. And I was getting tired, and COVID took a lot from everybody. Nobody really wants to talk about that. Right. But COVID, that was the first thing in our lifetime where an entire world was literally shut down. Right. Where you had millions of deaths everywhere. Okay? Where people had parents going to a hospital and maybe one came out. Everybody was affected by COVID one way or the other, that fear. And it's a whole new mindset now.
Okay.
It's a whole new mindset. And I think this excitement, that spark inside of people are understanding now that it does mean something to get involved. But I tell you what it is causing us to do, and maybe this will help us continue to galvanize and help people out. We are having to educate. Okay? We are having to tell people it's not enough to register to vote. We have people who have gotten the spark who've never voted.
Wow.
They don't know how to vote.
Wow.
I remember I was telling you about precincts, wards. Everybody knows about wards because city council are divided into wards. Well, down here, your county, my county, is divided by precincts. So I've got 24 precincts, and each precinct
that you're over top of?
Yeah, each precinct has a polling place. I'm not talking about wards. In my one city in Rocky Mount, they have the 7 wards like Petersburg. Okay, they have city council, but I'm talking about precincts. So the 70,000 plus registered voters, because it's really like 90-some thousand people in Nash County, are in 24.
Wow.
Well, if you don't know what a precinct is, and we have early voting. For early voting, we have only 4 sites. So anybody from any precinct can go to any one of those 4 sites during early voting.
Okay.
But on election day, You got to go to your polling place. Well, your polling place is in your precinct. If you don't know your precinct, then you don't know where to vote, because it may not be the same as an early voting site. An early voting site could be a library somewhere. But like we have Nashville, like my city of Rocky Mount is divided into 9 precincts. There are 9 different polling places in Rocky Mount.
Okay.
Okay. So on election day, you can only vote in your precinct, at your precinct polling place. But the rest of my areas are in rural areas. Rocky Mount is the largest municipality for Nash County.
Oh,
Everywhere else, there are townships. Okay.
okay.
But those are in precincts. So we had to spend a lot of time telling people about the importance of knowing what your precinct is, so you know where to vote if you don't early vote.
Wow. So I see you in the store. You got your blue hair. You got your pearls on. You got your blue dress on. And I don't know much about politics,
There you go.
but I see we've got excitement in the air,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
So if I don't know about politics and I walk up to you and I say, obviously, you're a Democrat, but why is it that you think I should go blue?
You should go blue because we are about the people. We are inclusive. You can come to anything with Democrats, and you're going to see people of all race, color, creeds. You can. It doesn't matter who you love. You can come on. We accept you. We're not going to talk about you. We're going to work with you because, as a people, you have the right to be represented, and that's what we are about with the Democrats. We want to go in there and work for the working people, those who are in unions, the farmers. We want to make sure you have better wages. We want to make sure about public education. And you need to go Democrat because there is something called a Project 2025, Agenda 47, and they want everything their way. They want to get rid of the Department of Education. Did you know in this big 922 page book, there's an area under the Department of Defense where they want all kids in federally funded schools, in the high schools, to take the entrance exam into the Army.
Really?
Yes, page 103. Federally funded schools. So, who does that leave out? Private schools.
And who will our army be filled with, risking their life for the country?
And also, they want to eliminate the Department of Education. Well, the majority of our children are in public schools and need that federal funding that comes from the Department of Education. But Project 2025 wants to eliminate that. If you want and you care about the pollution in the air, the water, our climate, you can't deny that we're having problems with our climate. Look at the 100 and some degrees that everybody went through. Well, under Project 2025, it would eliminate anything dealing with climate change. Anything.
Wow.
Talk about democracy. Remember, I said democracy is for the people, and that's what we believe about in democracy. Well, December 3rd, 2023, you got a certain person that's running for president now that said on day one, he would be a dictatorship. Well, if you don't know what that means, you got to understand the difference between democracy and dictatorship. Democracy is for the people, where you have the right to elect the people to go in and make your laws. The dictatorship is the total opposite. It's one person making all the laws. And that's what he said. Day one, he would be a dictator. Who talks that way?
Does Kamala know about Dr. Cassandra?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Does she know who she got on her team?
Oh, there are a whole lot. There are a whole lot like me. We have that education.
Wow. Wow. You know, it's been great. It's been great. Need to have you on more. I may need you to do your own podcast.
Uh-oh.
I'll listen. So God has you in Nash County. God has you doing things that I guess you didn't know you would be doing.
And I'm still playing for a choir, so
And you're still playing for the
I'm
choir.
still playing in church.
So after Kamala becomes president, will you still, will you, will, does the party still work, or do
Oh
they
yeah.
take a break?
Oh no. I
No,
will.
you will. We'll
I'm gonna
see.
take a break for a month. I will.
A little break.
A
Where do
little.
where do you see yourself? Because you've been doing so much. Where do you see yourself in, let's say, 3 years?
Maybe finally taking a vacation I've never had. I've
Wow.
never had a vacation.
Never.
Nope.
I got to be honest with you. Until I guess something like this happens, you don't realize that there are still people fighting the way they did back in the day when Martin Luther King was around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a mixture of people. And when there's a mixture of people that don't judge based on your color or your religion, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want the people to know before we end the show?
I do want to emphasize, and we talked about this in the very beginning, Stacey, about local government. I do want to emphasize to everybody, my theme down here is bottoms up. Take your ballot, start from the bottom and go up so that you make sure you have covered every office. This election is not just about Kamala. As we said, you got to know that you have the different branches of government. You got to know that Kamala and the president or the governor, they are the executive branch. They enforce the laws. But then you have the legislative branch, and every seat in Congress is up. Every seat. You need to check out who's running for Congress, for Senate, or for the House. Check in your local areas. And then if you're in North Carolina, the judges are elected. We have in North Carolina, we have a person running for Supreme Court justice. They are elected down here. We've got Court of Appeals. The Supreme Court, you got Allison Riggs. We've got a sister that's already on the Court of Appeals running for re-election, Carolyn Thompson. We have a sister running for state auditor. She's the first Black female auditor in the state. You got to look at this. We've got a sister running for judge. She's a judge now, Alicia Slaughter. You've got to look at your ballot. There are other sisters talking about supporting sisters. There are other sisters running everywhere. So bottoms up. That's what I want to leave you with. Bottoms up.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms
Dr.
up.
Cassandra. So your email address for people to contact you describes you.
I can't get rid of it.
Let me make sure I'm saying this correctly.
I can't get rid of it.
Bossy da.
Bossy DA.
Bossy. Look at me being slow. But bossy. It's like that with the license plate, Dr. Cassandra. I'm always the last one to get it. And a joke. But anyways, Bossy DA. It's been nice.
It's been great. And you're doing great, Stacey. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And you hit on some things that even I needed to hear. And I'm learning more and more. And you just confirmed it. We have to start at the bottom. And you said even before the mayor, there's the city council or the town council.
Or even school board.
School boards. Okay. School boards. So I do hope that others have learned something from you.
I'm here to educate.
If Kamala should call me this evening, I'll let her know how well you spoke. Thank you, beautiful. And anyone that wants to know more, they can just email you at bossyda@aol.com.
Thank you.
I'm wishing you the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Another great interview. Another great guest. I'll leave you with this. Think about what she said. Replay this video. And if there are others that you think don't even have a clue about where we need to start as we fight for what's right, share this video with them. And remember, don't worry too much about yesterday. Don't stress. Wait a minute. Don't stress too much about yesterday. Don't worry too much about tomorrow. Because if you do, you just might miss living today. I am Stacey Thomas.